Fortnite just made one of their biggest announcements ever. Siphon is returning to competitive. We are switching the game mode to Trio FNCS for all of 2025, and we have increased the competitive prize pool next year. I also want to recap everything that happened in the Global Championship. It was an insane tournament. We have so much to talk about. Let's jump into it. Before I break down the Global Championship, I need to talk about the massive update they made at the end of it. I'm sure you've heard about it, but if you haven't, you're going to be very happy after you hear this. So I was told there was going to be some kind of announcement at the end of Global Champs. The broadcast finished and I was super disappointed. I thought we're at least going to see what the pickaxe was going to look like. We're going to see something. Then it turns out Zeke walks out and announces that we are getting the return of Siphon. The game mode is switching back to trios for 2025, and we have a confirmed $8 million prize pool for FNCS next year. The announcement was so ridiculous that when I was talking about it on stream afterwards, it sounded like it was fake. It's the kind of announcement you would tell when you were clickbaiting or you were making a video and you're like, oh, Siphon's back and we're going to trios. Like previously, you would have thought that was complete bait, but no. Fortnite has given us one of the best announcements we have gotten in years. Let's break down what this actually means. So they did go on to give more explanation that Siphon is going to be a trial. They're going to trial different types of Siphon to see which one best suits competitive. So we're not just getting straight up tomorrow cash cups are going to have Siphon. We're going to have to wait until, I'm guessing, chapter 6 for Siphon to be turned on. And I guess they're going to play around with like maybe getting 25 health and 25 shield, or maybe you only get 25 health, no shield, maybe shield, no health. I don't know what they're going to do. Don't really know why they're trialing anything. Siphon is probably unanimously one of the most loved features in Fortnite. No one ever really complained about it. Since it's been gone, everyone's wanted it back, and now they're trialing how to bring it back. And I'm sitting here thinking, it's kind of just perfect the way it is. 50 health or 50 shield. It works really, really well. So I don't know. I guess they're going to trial it out, but it's coming back in some form. I guess we'll see after these trials. Now, I'm guessing these tournaments are going to take place though in chapter 6. We still have OG season next season, and this announcement basically confirms what I've already been saying. I don't think we're going to get an FNCS next season in OG. So even though we're going to trios as the new main competitive game mode, and I'll give my thoughts on that in a second, we're going to have to wait, unfortunately, about 4 months to figure out how this changes anything, because again, the next FNCS is probably going to be chapter 6 season 1, which will be in the new year. They may start doing these Siphon trial tournaments for OG season. I honestly don't really know. I'm just guessing they're going to do them for the new chapter, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. Do you think they should change Siphon at all? And if they were going to change it, what should it be? Because I don't know what we're trialing at this point, but the game swapped to trios. Now, duos is my favorite competitive game mode, but we've had it for 3 years now. It's starting to get a little bit stale. It's starting to get a bit old. I get why people want something new. Me personally, I want to see some of the new teams, and we already have some insanely spicy teams that are coming out of the woodworks. We have huge names unretiring from Fortnite coming back to play trios. We have big names like Mero saying, I'm fully locking in for trios now. It's got everyone really, really motivated. Now, again, I still think duos is the better competitive game mode. I hope Fortnite takes into account with trios how much the skill gap has changed over the years and how good players are now. If they don't do the right meta, it will just turn into a tarp and spray simulator. So I really hope we get some high mobility metas. One thing it's going to do a lot of is bring back controller players. If you're a controller player, you've been struggling in competitive with Surge and all the other issues, now is your time. Controller players have always been way more dominant in trios because not needing to carry as much Storm Surge. So if you don't have the best long range aim, it doesn't matter as much now. You can fit into your role as a trio and fight more for your Surge, like we saw with Day, Reverse, and Mero. So I'm super excited to see trios for the change of pace. Again, they didn't actually say how many FNCSs we're going to get next year. We're assuming it's going to fit the same format it has the last 2 years. We're going to have, chapter 6, season 1, 2, and 3. They're going to be trio FNCSs that then qualify you to a LAN in season 4. It seems like they like that format, but that could change. They did tell us we're having an $8 million prize pool. Just for reference, the prize pool for this year's FNCS was $7.8 million. So it's not a huge increase in the prize pool, but it really did, confirm for a lot of people, myself included, the prize pool isn't going down, which is very, very exciting. This does still mean we could get a super stacked solos tournament next season. I mean, if they were going to do another Winter Royale, I feel like OG is the perfect time to do it. OG does start in November. It runs through until December. I mean, if you're going to do a massive prize pool tournament, capitalize on all the hype, it is a solo season, chapter 2, season 2 and 3, which is the main component of the OG season we're going into, was solos. So I don't know, maybe I'm just hoping, but just because I don't think we're going to get an FNCS next season, it's not going to be trios, it would be the perfect time to throw a massive solo event, which I think the game does really need. I think a big solo event right now for pros to prove themselves, for people to get into competitive who maybe don't have teammates, would be amazing. I would love to see this before we go to a year of trios. As far as some of the teams that are coming out of the woodwork, you can already imagine what's going on. We've got Mr. Savage confirming that it's going to be Mongrel, Savage, and Clicks. Clicks is flying over to EU. We have people saying that, you know, Zate is unretiring from competitive Fortnite to come back for trios. Aqua's going to come back. There's a lot going on the timeline right now. There's not a lot of real trios that I can confirm right now. I will make another video most likely tomorrow breaking down all the different trios that are coming out. If you guys have been a fan of my YouTube channel for a while now, you know that snake hitting videos and talking about trios was some of my favorite content. It was always so fun to go into. It's a lot more fun than duos, a lot more that goes into it. So I will probably make a video very shortly talking about some of the new duos, or sorry, no, trios, and some of the duos that just split, because we do have confirmation of some big duos right at the top of the leaderboard after global splitting. We just don't know who they're playing with yet. Of course, like I said, without trio cash cups confirmed, we do have 4 months until we're gonna have trios, so expect it to change, but I get why people are getting excited. We could see some really cool teams formed for the upcoming events. Now, announcement over and done with. Let's talk about Global Championship, and what a tournament we had. Going into day 2, it really looked like Peterbot and Poyo were gonna run away with it, but after 2 really rough games to start off the tournament, they found themselves out of first place, and it made it such an exciting finish. But obviously, I'm sure you've seen or heard about it, Peterbot and Poyo closed it out in first on 985 points. The leaderboard doesn't do justice how exciting the last game was. So Peterbot and Poyo just closed out, in my opinion, the most dominant chapter we've ever seen. A lot of people are going to talk about like Bugamero. They won 3 FNCSs in a row, but they just got second place, first place, and then won the LAN event. They've also broken so many records, breaking 1,000 points in the finals, getting 6 wins out of 6. Remember, Peterbot also just came second at the Esports World Cup and second at DreamHack Dallas. Like, these players have been absolutely dominating, and I think they have now got one of the most, if not the most impressive primes we've ever seen from a player. People are now talking about putting Peterbot in the GOAT debate. He's won 4 FNCSs, one's a LAN. I think you can talk about that however you want. The GOAT debates are always so hard because you're comparing things from 5 years ago to now. But one thing I think you can talk about is we have never seen a team this feared in competitive Fortnite history. They kept their half of their raft uncontested all 12 games, and that includes game number 12. You watched the tournament, there was a lot of rumors, there was a lot of speculation. Is Queasy and Thomas gonna land on Peter Poyo? They're in second place, they're so far ahead of third, they can't drop out. Will they land on him? We even had Queasy mark the raft on his map on the stage, so when the camera panned around, people thought he was gonna land on the raft. He even admitted to doing this, and they played it on the broadcast. It was hilarious, but he decided not to. And a lot of people were questioning this play. I was saying since before the play even started, there is no way he drops on them. It doesn't make sense. I know you think he Aussie, but when Queasy and Veno did it at Invitational against Cammy and said he was such a good play, it was. But this situation was different. Peterbot and Poyo were only in first by 40 points. You can easily overcome that if they have a bad game. They already had 2 bad games on the day as well. If you landed the raft, for Queasy and Thomas HD to win, they had to land at the raft, they had to instantly take out Peter and Poyo, they then had to fight off the third party, which would come from Yapko or Threats' team right next to him. They then had to beat them and then go on to get 40 points. Much more difficult than if, you know, Peter and Poyo were landing at some random POI like Grimgate. They could land, take their time, fight them off. It was just not the play. Unfortunately, the play didn't end up working anyway. Queasy and Thomas HD tried to play their tournament out, and they didn't get enough points to overtake them, finishing in second on 776. That now makes Thomas HD another second place. And again, if you haven't seen Thomas HD's placements, they're absolutely ridiculous now. At this point in his career, he has come second 4 times. Sorry, second 5 times now, including coming second by 1 point twice. He's come third 5 times and fourth 3 times. Thomas HD is just cursed to never win a tournament, but honestly, it was such a good performance. A lot of people didn't even have them in their top 10, and they popped off. I know he's going to be upset that he didn't win, but there are worse legacies to have than coming top 5 in 13 of the last 21 FNCSs. That is ridiculous. Joining them on the podium, we had Chicho and Trulex coming 3rd place. Remember, they came 3rd last LAN event as well, so back-to-back podium finishes from them. A very low-key duo that really does fly under a lot of people's radar. There are now rumors talking about trios that we might be actually getting Queasy, Chicho, and Trulex. I don't know. Again, Queasy tweeted about. I don't know how serious it is. I guess we'll have to wait and see. Then we had Vico and Flixie in 4th place. They did drop out of their top 3 finish. They didn't have the best day on day 2, but they still held on really well, still did extremely well after their FNCS win last season. Then we also had Ping and Wox, who had a massive pop-off performance on day 2 to jump up in a 5th place. Chap and Tini, again, also having an insane performance on day 2. Didn't even have a drop spot going into this LAN event, somehow clutching up a 6th place, which means Chap has now come 2nd in Grand Finals, 2nd in Grand Finals, and 6th on LAN. He's only played in 3 finals and he's now come 2nd, 6th. Just an absolute prodigy. I don't know. I didn't think we were ever going to see someone perform this well, only being in the pro scene for this long. It's why a lot of people were very suspicious of Chap and saying he cheated. 6th place on LAN speaks for himself. We also have Bolt and Bryce in 7th place, my underdog pick coming into it. We had Dukes and Sphinx holding on to a top 10, getting 8th overall. Rapid and Batman Booger having a huge comeback to clutch up 9th. And then Yapko and Swizzy, super happy for Swizzy after everything he's been through, has some of the worst luck when it comes to LAN events. Couldn't attend last LAN because he couldn't get his visa after winning. This LAN event, his duo now can't attend because of a visa. Picks up Yapko as a fill and gets a top 10. Obviously, I haven't mentioned them yet. Clicks and Veno dropping outside top 10, 11th place overall. Unfortunately, the contest from OCE just didn't go their way. They tried to fight them a couple times. It didn't work. They went down. They really couldn't do much after Damo's team decided to drop on them. I think 11th place overall is still super respectable. A lot of people are asking me, are Clicks and Veno going to split? What's Clicks' trio looking like? I'm guessing they are going to split. I don't know who Clicks is going to play trios with. We'll have to wait and see. I think he has a lot of options, but I don't think it's going to work. Veno doesn't want to play in NA. Clicks said he might go to EU, but honestly, I just don't think he will, which leaves them in a really awkward position. And then Ritual and Reet we had in 12th overall. They had a big comeback. Booga and V finishing 14th. I have rumored they have already split up and will not be playing trios together. We had Rise and Ages in 16th. We had Kanata and Cooper dropping down to 20th overall. I believe this duo will also split. Rumor on the block is it's going to be Kanata, Acorn, and Cold. Again, we'll have to see where that actually happens. We had Cammy and Seti jumping up to 23rd, so having a better performance on day 2. They won a game, but still not the performance a lot of people are expecting. Cold and Acorn, unfortunately, dropping all the way down from 5th to 26th. Now, Cold, unfortunately, had food poisoning. They talked about this before they even went out onto the stage. Apparently, loud noises and any quick movement would make Cold want to vomit. Super rough position to be in, and if you look at the placements on day 2, they absolutely crumbled. And when it's other players, you could think, oh, maybe they're just making excuses. Cold is one of the most consistent players in the world, and he just didn't look like himself. He was struggling, and it's super unfortunate to see. I believe Acorn and Cold will still be sticking together in trios, like I just talked about. We had Whale and Muzz in 27th. We had Mustache and Malabuka in 32nd. Now, OCE did not do very well at the LAN event. I'll admit it as an OCE player myself, but Alex and Worthy really did hold their own against Mustache and Malabuka. They won almost every single spawn fight at the event, but unfortunately, they always got third party. They always got cleaned up, and the few games that Mustache and Malabuka did split the loot, they didn't fight and went away. They went on to play better, so they still outplaced them, but Alex and Worthy really held their own on spawn. It just didn't mean as much, unfortunately. Across the board, it was a fantastic event once the tournament obviously ran. Unfortunately, again, we had 10 different players unable to attend due to different visa issues, which is an absolute disaster. Can easily be fixed by just not having the next LAN event in NA. We've already talked about all that though. I absolutely loved the LAN event once it ran. The lag was so much better. The meta was so much better. It was a super enjoyable event. Having that potential last game, you know, Queasy and Thomas landing on, it was extremely exciting. The one thing we didn't get was seeing the pickaxe. I don't know what's happening with the pickaxe. If we've just given Peterbot and Pollo the same FNCS axe they already had that you can buy in the item shop for 10 bucks, I'm going to be so upset. Hopefully the unveiling of the, 3.0 FNCS pickaxe is when they give it to Peter and Pollo and that's how it's revealed. I feel like that would be really cool. Surely they get at least something in game to show for this LAN win and this insanely dominant chapter. But other than that, with the announcement, how well the event went, my hype is incredible. I'm so excited for competitive Fortnite going forward. I hope we get some big tournaments for OG next season. We still have the rest of this season. We still have all of the cash cups. I'm hoping Epic can do something to fix the reload game mode. If they can't, I've been talking on social media about just putting the prize pool from reload into trio cash cups. Everyone's super excited for trios. We want to see some trio tournaments. Why waste it on a game mode that just isn't working competitively? I'm super excited going forward though. The announcement has me hyped. I hope you guys enjoyed all the LAN coverage. I will still be uploading a video, like I said, in a few days talking about hopefully some confirmed trios.